Moving on in Jason's Ukulele Book, we are now going to page 33, which talks about pattern 2. Now, in the previous videos, we talked about pattern 1, which is, we just named it that because that's the first one that we teach. So we started with this, then we expanded it. That's all called pattern 1. Eventually, you move this up the neck when you move into a different key, either because of transposing a song or modulating or just jamming spontaneously. You never know what key you're going to need to play. So it's good to know your pattern wherever you need it to be. Let's say we're in the key of F. Okay, great. What if we're in the key of G? This is uncomfortably high. Can I play up here? I can. But the only reason I would do that, really honestly, is if I was jamming together with my son or something and I'm trying to outdo him, which is impossible because he's gotten really good. And I'm just reaching for something that he didn't already do. Of course, then he'll immediately go there and run circles around me. That's the way of things. I guess that means a good teacher, right? So there's got to be a way to play in the key of G without going all the way up here and bumping into the body. Because what about if you're in the key of A? Now what? I mean, I could play there. I could, but it's not desirable. So we have pattern 2. Go all the way down here again. Here is a brand new shape. So we're going to go 0, 2. Previous shape we went 0, 2, 3. We're not doing that anymore. The previous shape had 3 notes on the number 3 string, so 3 notes, 2 notes, 3 notes. This is going to do exactly the opposite, which is 2 notes, 3 notes, 2 notes. So here we have 0, 2, then we have 1, 3, 5, then we have 3, 5. Now, like on the previous pattern, whenever you had 3 notes in a row, the first one of those 3 was the tonic or the key that you're in. And the same thing holds true here. So the pattern looks a little different. But this part of the pattern, the logic of the pattern, if you will, stays the same. The first note, when you have 3 in a row, the first note is your tonic. This is F. So here we're playing in the key of F. The next F would be but even a low G uke doesn't have a low F unless we turn this down, right? I'm not going to do that. So those are in the scale, but we don't normally use them if we're not going somewhere with them. Okay. Can we move this to the key of G? Sure we can. The shape might look a little different, but it's really the same thing. So what we're going to do, instead of going 0, 2, and then 1, 3, 5, and 3, 5. We're just going to add 2 to everything. So now we're going to start on 2. We're going to go 2, 4. Then we're going to have a little diagonal move here because there's always a diagonal move when you go between the 3 and the 2 string. So 0, 2. I'm sorry. We're in G now. So it's 2, 4, 2, 4. Then we're going to go 3, 5, 3 notes on this string. So slide up to 7. Then you've got 2 notes here, and it's going to be 5, 7. So this would be playing in the key of G. And if we have a low G string, we can go. If you don't have a low G string, you can still do that. It just would be the same notes as, oops. 3 blind mice, right? So let me just grab a low G, I'm sorry, a high G uke for demo here. Okay. Okay, so I can still do the same pattern with a high G. That's the same thing. And if I go to this string, then it's just. Totally works. You don't have to learn a new pattern. Oops. Oops, I went into the other pattern. Talk about that in a second, connecting the two. Okay, so if I've got my pattern here, I'm in the key of G. That's a G. I'm going to have 3 notes ascending from that. Boom, boom, boom. That's my 1, 2, 3, do, re, mi. Anytime you've got 3 notes in a row, the second one, the middle one of those notes, is a really good bend note. That will tend to sound good with just about every chord you'll encounter in the key of C in a typical song, unless you have a really bizarre song. If we go back to a low G ukulele, like this one, we can do that here. We can also do it here. On the number 4 string, when you bend, you have to bend downward. Normally when you bend up. But when you get up here, if you bend up, you're going to fly right off the fretboard. Now here's the thing. You kind of want to finish it off, right? So how do you get that note? Well, that note was part of pattern 1. What we've been playing down here in the key of G has been pattern 2. But if I can connect up to here, guess what? I can play pattern 1 up here with G. Can I connect back to the other pattern? Sure I can. The way to do that is you're going to skip 2. Skip that one, then you come in down here and you'd have... Okay, so how would that work again? If you look at page 33, I have a diagram that connects these two that shows how this works. Let's move to the key of C to demonstrate how this would work. Okay, so key of C. Here's our pattern 1 from previous videos, right? Okay, so at any point on this string, we could switch. When you look at page 33, you'll see some of those dots, some of those fret positions are blue, and some of them are purple. What is that color? Berry purple. I'm told it's berry purple. What do I know? I know how to play these patterns is what I know. Okay, so imagine I'm starting here. 3 notes on here. Well, if I've got 3 notes in a row here, 0, 2, 3, I can skip. I just said 0, 2, 3. That's not right. I'm mixing up fret positions. 0, 2, 4. Or scale positions would be 1, 2, 3. Okay. If I've got 3 notes here, then I can skip 2 fret positions and come in on the other side of it and play only 2. Why only 2? Well, it's a pentatonic scale, right? So I've got 1 note, 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes. In fact, these are the same notes that I would have played if I'd continue the scale here. Take a listen. That's pattern 1, right? Here's pattern 1 going into pattern 2 on the same string. Same notes, right? What comes after these notes here? Can I do the same thing here? Sure. Oops. They're right there. Can I play these notes in the other pattern? Sure. There they are. Same notes. What about these ones? Can I play those in the other pattern? Sure, they're right here. So the thing is, once you learn the shapes of these patterns, they're really useful because eventually you get to a point where you don't really need to... You don't need to know every single note that you play on the fly in that fleeting moment where you play it. Like when I'm playing, I'm not thinking C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, A, C. Can I do that? Sure. Does it sound good? No, I can't sing that high and make it sound good. But that's all right. I could call out those notes, but when I'm playing them in the moment, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking pattern, pattern, pattern. So let's pull up a background track here for the key of C. And okay, 1 minute, key of C with a hula vamp. And we'll play along using both of these patterns. Here's pattern 1. Here's pattern 2. Can I go down lower? Sure, back to pattern 1. So that's how the patterns connect. So if you know 1 and you know 2, you can fly all over the fretboard. And in the moment, while I was playing that, I wasn't thinking, okay, there's a C, there's a D, there's a E, there's a G, there's a A. I was just thinking, flow the pattern. It's like when you walk along a path. Imagine you're taking a light hike, nothing too heavy. When you're walking along the path, you're not thinking, okay, here's the GPS coordinates of my left foot right now. Okay, here's the GPS coordinates of my right foot right now. Here's the new GPS coordinates of my second position of the left foot. That's not what you think. You just think walking along the path. You go doo-doo-doo-doo, right along the path, and that's all I'm doing here. Guess what? What happens up here? If this was pattern 1, and then we skip 2, and then we have pattern 2, and then we skip 2, what happens above that? Pattern 1 again. It's just an octave higher, right? Instead of being here, we're an octave higher. Pattern 1 again. Do I want to play up here? Not especially, but I could. If you're on a guitar necks are a little bit longer. The principle is the same. Do I have time to show this? That's not important. That's for guitar players. So you could use the same principle on a guitar too. It would just be in a different key. All right, hopefully that's helpful. And experiment if you like. Go back to the previous video where there's a little play along series at the end, and see if you can work in pattern 1 and pattern 2, but that has some transposing, so that might be a little trickier. Maybe I should just play along. Let's do this. I'll just play at the end of this video for the last minute and a half or something. I'll play that practice track again, and you can jam along with it. And maybe I'll jump on a bass again. We'll have a little fun. And that's what we try to do as often as we can during lessons here at Lahaina Music. And if you'd like, you can come by. Not right now, because we're closed right now. But when you get a chance and when everything's freed up, come on down. We'll do a lesson in person if you like, or a Skype lesson, or Zoom lesson, or what are the other platforms we could do? FaceTime, Google, what's it called? Google Chat or Google something. Anyway, whatever the platform is, we can do a virtual lesson too. But I encourage you to pick up the book, Jason's Ukulele Book, because it's got diagrams for all the stuff that'll make it a little easier to see what's going on. Jason's Ukulele Book, available from Lahaina Music. Check out our website, and have a great day. Aloha.